Hey everybody, this is Brad Dyke saying hi. This is a continuation of redesigning the lab again in regards to some next corner steps, which we're going to go after. But I really wanted to show you guys something really cool I thought you'd get a kick out of. So in here is my lab environment as I've built it. And of course all my other gear, equipment, support, and so on. And this is my lab when I'm not actively involved, and I run it as low cost as possible. Now when you turn the light on, you recognize it rather quickly. And when you're working in the environment and you're doing a lot of rebuilds and stuff like that, light is really important. So you have your light where you need it. So when you come back out and you look at the environment, it is brilliant, it is bright, it is clear, and that is absolutely the right thing to do inside your environment when you're working. Because it's hard on our eyeballs, right? Because the end result is we end up having to wear, glasses like these, 8Xers. So you get in there and you start looking around things. But the key thing is that, when we're doing a lab build out, and as I'm getting ready to design and start platforming new stuff, and I'm looking at how I'm going to handle these boxes up here, and I want to set up a hot swap environment, I might decommission my Raspberry Pis, because even though they've been really fun to play with, that's just it. They've been fun to play with. And so I'll repurpose the 15 disks that I have here dedicated. Probably more prepared to support NFS sharing with these guys up here through a contiguous configuration setup, but I haven't decided yet. And then of course some of these systems, the 720s, will be retiring soon, and so I've got a lot of work to do to transition that 720, which is my TrueNAS, to this 730 DX, and get it all transitioned over in the disks and all of that. And down here, of course, is my other 720, which is decommissioned. Put a lot of memory and stuff into the other one just for grins and giggles, but I'm gonna probably get rid of these. If anyone's interested, let me know and we can work out a deal. Super great deal. 720s are great. They're just when you got a 730, why do you need a 720, right? Anyways, with that being said, this will be orientated and changed out. Probably going to also pull out the 2646 disk array down here. I'm going to retire that downstairs, and I'm thinking about pulling out the 3PAR and retiring that one as well, leaving principally just one disk array and my supplement arrays to replace the multiple stacks I've got here now. It's been great having them, but feasibility and higher quantity capacity just doesn't make it practical anymore to have them. So that's kind of the pre-planning I've been doing on this. On the back side, I'm going to be working out the capacity to structure and reintegrate a little bit more on this. There's my second 10 gig switch for the Proxmox secondary and third groups. And down here we've got residual cleanup, which I need to do. Now, one very important thing I want to reiterate for everybody here to understand is that you have two ways you can go with your home lab. One, you can prep it to be able to go left and right and in the middle. That's what this lab is. I do so much work on different approaches. I'm not worried about cable placements. I'm worried about being able to do 2 or 3 sets of cable placements and then take them out and put maybe 2 only, or maybe put 1 in, and so on and so on and so on and so on. So I'm bouncing around the configurations, pretty flexible. So I have what's called an open architecture IT lab environment. What do I mean by that? What I mean by that is you notice that reachability is very functional here. You can get in here and you can be in the front panel sections. You can pop these off very easily, and you can get into the subsection areas that are between the back and the front. But you also have some cable management, so you have some cable control, And because sometimes, as everybody knows, cables can run out of control if you don't know how to isolate them correctly. Now, of course, in the midsection, you want ease of accessibility. Look at that ease of accessibility. I can go in here, I can go down there, I can slip in, slip out. I can do quite a bit, but yet I've also got things systematically structured in a way so they're fairly clean and basically organized. Open-ended architecture labs are the most productive because they allow you to do quite a bit without having to always go back and rebuild your cabinetries and realign your cable sets and so on and so on. So as you can see, I can reach all the way through, but I also have my cable controllers, which I use, as you can see here. But at the same point in time, I can reach under, get my hands on power cords and things like that to bring them into an operational capacity. Okay? Plus, I can have small storage areas for test NICs, GBICs, and so on, like up here, just in case I have a need to do a fast swap out. These things actually add up over time, believe it or not. But all in all, when you're doing the design functionality, you're doing it in such a way so that you can continue to move forward. I've got to do piles of work. I've got to build a 3-tier Proxmox environment. That's 3 different Proxmoxes. One representing a services, one providing, and 2 acting as cloud providers. Then they're providing me the container spaces that I need to set up Docker, and I'm using Kubernetes on top of that so that I can get my infrastructure in place so I can quickly deploy through Docker what I want to get out into my test labs and then blow it all away and start over again. Those processes aren't fun, unfortunately, but by having yourself flexibility, you're able to do a lot with that. Now, with that being said, one other important detail is your flexibility of parts. Now, I'm going to tell everybody in the world you don't need a lot of parts, but it is important to have them, because if you look over here, as you can see here, I've got panels, subsections, channelers, wire guides, and so on, that which are designed to flip around as I need to do the flipping and to be able to handle things I need to be handled correctly. But I don't need a lot of gear. That's important. You don't need a lot of gear. You just need enough. But I usually recommend to get panel sections, full panel sections with ventilation, which is this versus an enclosure panel. And unfortunately, because I have a different manufacturing mix here, I don't always get the perfect rack mount fits that I like. So you end up having small gaps that are smaller than a 1U footprint. So unfortunately, the gaps do cause some heat issues if they're actually in use. But the key detail overall here is, make sure you make it easy for you to work, play, learn, and tear it all down and do it again in a different format. A lot of the stuff you see here is just junk that I rebuilt and brought it back to life and threw it into modern day technologies to say, hey guys, this stuff still works. And that's my contribution to the overall effort, besides showing you that you can do this. Plus, it's fun. I mean, yeah, this is a 42 rack, and I got a bigger rack over here, which is a 47 rack. And I got another rack in my basement. It's also, prevalent. And but all in all, the overall functionality that I've got everything set up gives me a lot of flexibility. The only thing I haven't done is put a 10 gig distributed backbone inside the house. I don't see a purpose for that. There is a limit where you can go. Well, this is Brad Dyke signing off. God bless, and you guys have a great week.